7 o'clock. And we do not have a president.
Well,
So we need to do a call to order and let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The roll call, Greg,
here.
Josh,
Here.
Larry,
Here.
Kathy,
Yes, here.
Attorney Schobert, Ellen,
Here.
Brian,
Here.
and myself, Tracy. Aye. Going into number 2, public comments. Please remember, village residents and taxpayers only. Speakers will be limited to making comments related to all agenda items, including closed session items relating to employment and labor issues. Comments will be limited to 2 minutes per speaker per agenda item. There will be no discussion by or with the village board during public comment. Is there a sign-up sheet?
There's no sign-up sheet for us.
I'll go.
Trucks are gonna go on King, but the other traffic could go on. Okay. So, one now out there.
Is your sign up sheet name address?
Yes, yes, no,
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have two here to grab traffic. Once we get it.
Hi, my name's Craig Lake, as well. I'm sure you don't know me anyway. I just want to say, about a week or so ago, my daughter was driving off of Villa Drive, and she looked one way and it was tall grass. The other way, there was a bunch of brush sitting on a guy's property. And then she ran into a couple of potholes. So she called the village, and she says, by golly, the next day those potholes were filled, and a couple days later the grass was cut, but burning stuff was still sitting there. So she just wanted me to say thank you to Eric, and I just thought it'd be nice to say it out in public, because otherwise all we hear is a bunch of BS. So, thank you, Eric.
Any other public comments? One more time, any more public comments? Okay, we'll move on to 3 reports. A fire department?
Okay. Who wanted the first half of 2023 fire reports?
I do.
All right, here's a list. Look through them and let us know which ones you want.
Do you have the original?
No, not right now. We're not gonna copy them all until you give us what you want. Those
I
are
want to
all-
see the copies of your inspection reports.
We do not have those. We have all the lists there. You can let us know which reports you want.
So there's no signatures on here?
No, that's not the report. That's what violations were found
Chief,
and if no violations were
if you want,
found.
I'll just grab them quick and she can look at them during the meeting.
Thank you, Jamie.
All right, we're at 124 calls for the year. Right now, we're 40 over last year's total for this time. We put on 3 new people. They're approved by the Police and Fire Commission. Over the next few weeks, they'll be coming to trainings and just getting to know everybody and getting to know how things are around here. We participated in the night out event at Christ Lutheran Church on June 21st. Staff had a great time with the children and showing the public our vehicles and talking to the kids all about the fire department. Hose testing was completed yesterday. All the hoses passed on the trucks with no problems reported. We celebrated EMS Week on May 19th through the 26th. Thank you to everyone who reached out to the department to say thank you. The department has set a date for our next fundraiser.
Thank you.
On August 24th, we'll have our second annual bags tournament in the village park. Staff conducted our second audit with the state of Wisconsin on June 26th. Our first audit with the state was in April. Any questions or comments?
I have
All right,
a
thanks.
question. Last month, we talked about the radios. Jamie, you said you have 22, and you had a radio for all the officers, and you counted off like, was it 11?
No, we
Okay.
have total 18. If you give me a minute, I can give you the exact number.
Are these new radios? Have you had them for a long
We
time?
we just reallocated.
What does that mean?
We moved them from one spot to another spot. So,
Okay, because there was a shortage of radios, was my understanding.
no,
and then what-
we did not want to give out as many radios to staff as we had in the past. We wanted the officers to have radio and a handful of first responders. All we did is expand the first responders in regards to the radio, so now more people have radios.
So when your staff, when there's a call, if they don't have a radio, how do they know about it?
They get paged out on their phone or they get paged out on their pager.
Good, thank you.
Next. Thank you, Jim, Jamie. Library report. I don't believe Carla's here, so we can just review that later. And police department monthly report.
Good evening. How are y'all? I'm happy to report we didn't have any robberies or burglaries. We had one incident of disorderly conduct, which has been referred to the district attorney for review. We had one fraud and one theft from a motor vehicle. We wrote 33 citations. You should have the breakdowns, okay, of where the citations were written. We wrote 21 on Edgewood, which is always a hot spot. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Donald Trump wants me to give him money. I'm sorry, where were we?
21 on Edgewood.
21 on Edgewood, thank you. And the rest on 164 primarily. A few other locations throughout the village. We had a grant for $500 for body armor, and I'm working on another one for $1,000. And I think that's about it. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
President's report.
I do have, more here from the president.
I was just gonna say, I didn't know if there was any correspondence.
So it's from Jeff. This letter represents my resignation from the office of president of the village of Big Bend, Wisconsin, along with all other duties I may have been assigned as your village president. This resignation is effective 7 p.m., June 27th. Today the 27th. Yes,
Thank you, Kathy.
you bet.
Public Works, Eric.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we have 4 burials this month, 4 stakings, 6 foundations. Our bike path in the back behind me, north and south, has been severely damaged by the amount of rain we've had. We're gonna try to get this stuff fixed. I think there's me and one other guy right now. So we're doing what we can.
How do you fix that?
We're gonna dig out the stuff we have there, and I've got recycled asphalt stuff in the back. We're gonna put that down, we're gonna compact it, and then we'll put the 1/4-inch TV over that to hopefully alleviate the problem.
Okay, thanks.
Attended a Zoom meeting with Wistop, and if you're not aware, they're gonna be redoing the well, they were supposed to redo the intersection in 22, then it was 23, then it was 24. Now it's 25 or 26, most likely it's gonna be 27. But if you're not aware of what's going on, there's gonna be a big change in the traffic direction. So everybody needs to be aware of that. Park and ride's gonna shrink. They purchased land from McDonald's, and they purchased land from Tom Plum and a couple other places, so a lot of things are gonna change up there. One of the things that we're gonna do is go from, I believe it was Elkhorn to 164, and they were gonna do it all in concrete. I don't know if somebody figured out the numbers yet, but that was enormously expensive. So they haven't said much on that, maybe it's still gonna happen, but right now it's just gonna be overlay up there and stuff like that. I contacted Wistop about the crosswalks, as we do every time this year. The one on 164 here at L is bad, the one on Edgewood Avenue is bad. Talked to a gentleman named Tom Heidel. He said it's on their list to get done, and hopefully it'll be done before October. We put in 3 floats, 2 floats on the municipal pier. Pier's not in yet because the mounting for that system is about 3.5 feet underwater. And we are not gonna subject anybody to the water current or swimming. That's not in our job description. Dugan Harbor called me and said, hey, part of the road, shoulder washout up on Guthrie School Road, so we're gonna take care of that. We'll put that also in with recycled asphalt. Did roadside cuttings with current precipitation we're getting. Obviously we're gonna go again. One thing I wanted to bring up here, for a lot of you that weren't here, in September of 2023, we redid part of Edgewood Avenue, Big Bend Drive. That was quoted in 2017 for $154,190 to be done. And we did this quite a few years later, obviously in 2023. We completed that job for $70,681.79. So that's $83,000 savings to the village.
Thank you. What can I
So,
have?
just everybody working together. I know you have on here 2 tennis courts, saw that in the Public Works monthly report. I don't know who made the agenda. Okay, so I'll go into that a little bit. I work very closely with the city of Waukesha for our brush grinding and stuff because I can't buy a chipper or lease one for what they charge. They're also the ones that redid Big Bend Drive for us. They also do the city of Waukesha tennis courts and everything else. So I've reached out to Brian Knapp. There was an estimate of $42,000 to do them. He has said basically right now they'd be under $20,000 with a 2-inch lift. I'd like to go with rip out the whole thing with 4-inch and put 4 inches back in, and I still think we'd be around $22,000, which is basically $22,000 less than what the original estimate was. That doesn't include spraying, but most likely we would change that to a pickleball court, because the tennis courts have never been fruitful here, at least that I'm not aware of.
As a pickleball court, are they leased out to clubs and then?
I think we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'd like to get that hopefully done this year. They have told me that their schedule lightens up considerably by the middle of August. Cemetery expansion, I know you guys have this down in the thing, but I'll go over it a little bit. Late July, August, we'd like to start removing some of the trees along the north side of the cemetery, which is called the Jacoby section. And we'd like to take those out, re-landscape it, and get 4 to 5. Some plots we're gonna get 2, some 4, maybe 5, 7 in each one of those rows. that will get us through the current pinch that we're in right now. I've also given K&K, I'll send them a letter. Keith King is on our cemetery board, and I mentioned to him that probably, most likely next year, they won't be able to use that field anymore because we need the expansion needs to happen. We need to be doing some serious planning over there. So, and then I also see on here, on the agenda, Jackson Parkway tree. So I'm going to assume that's Mr. Petrie's tree, correct?
Yes.
Part of this tree is in our right of way, part of it is on his private property. The tree is healthy. There are some branches that fall down like everybody's tree. I'd like to take the branch down that's across the roadway by us, so we don't have something that goes down. But I think it's up to you as board members to figure out what you're gonna do with this tree. I think the tree can be sheared up and saved. I sure don't think it seems to be a healthy maple tree. I'm not too keen on taking the whole thing down. I did have 2 firms come out, take a look at it. One was about $7,300, the other one is at almost $11,000 to take that tree down. We do not have a bucket truck, so I either have to use the City of Muskego or I have to use Vernon. Obviously, both of those are at their discretion whether or not they have somebody to help out.
Do we split that with the property owner? Or no? How does that work?
That's up to you guys. One of the other things too that hasn't ever creeped up here and never got an answer on, I asked for matting for Altura mats for the cemetery. And it's been crickets. And heavy equipment moving up there, or like this thing here where we're gonna drop significant amount of tree on the ground. You know, 10-inch log coming down when it hits the ground is gonna impact pretty hard and dense.
We need to
I'm
get
looking
it
for
on,
direction, so.
we need to get it on the agenda for the cemetery.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wait that long, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. We're gonna need more rain, we're having another burial tomorrow. And the amount of money that we're spending fixing the cemetery is not
And you said it was $6,000?
6,000. I will pull, Celebrations has given me some money, so it'll be probably between 3,000 from Celebrations, 2,000 from the village, 3,300 each. We get these things done. I'm tired of fixing the damage that we cause because we don't have the proper stuff to handle. I'll defer to you. Your company use those or not?
Yeah,
Okay.
quite often.
Want to sell some?
I don't think I ever need to sell, but
They're needed.
Yeah.
They're needed.
I
It's
agree.
just, this thing's been put off now for 2.5 months.
Well, we can put it on the agenda for next month, for the meeting. With it not being on the agenda, there's nothing we can do currently.
Well, I usually don't have to ask when I buy stuff out of the cemetery account.
I was told anything over $1,500, it has to get approved by the cemetery board.
Since when?
That was what Jeff Goodman told me at
Well,
one of our finance
I
meetings.
buy gravel and I exceed that by thousands.
It'd have to be brought to a vote.
well, if he doesn't have to get permission to do some of that stuff, and the celebrations committee is willing to put in that much money, could he at least use part of it, or what his budget is up to, that he can go without?
Do we have additional funds in our budget to
So
take care of this?
cemetery fund, there is no cemetery fund, okay? There's an in account and there's an out account for me for anything that happens. Okay, so if I need to buy gravel, I buy gravel. This isn't where we sit and wait, we've sit and waited too long, and I'm going through a lot of damage up there now. And you're paying me another employee to fix things that are up there like that. As you well know, this came before here, way back in May, actually in April. So we're April, May, we're in June, we're gonna be in July, and I've heard nothing. I've never been questioned on stuff I bought for the cemetery. It's something that's needed, and at some point, we gotta make a move. That account is fully funded and I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Right, I know there's over 129,000 in there.
There's a lot more than that in there.
Well, per our last meeting, there was like 129.
Well, that's what's in the LGIP. It's 30,000 in our bank here, is that correct?
I have to look.
Ballpark figure.
Yeah, yep.
It's been dragging on a long time.
Well,
Again, can't we just give him, or can he just do what he normally does up to a certain amount, get that money, and then we can put it on the agenda for the balance?
I think whatever the agreement for the group is can be done. It's not illegal.
well, it's always been with the cemetery because there's a maintenance thing there. But when I have to buy stuff for the cemetery, it's always been, get what you gotta get it done. And I've never had to ask, I've always done it, there's never been a question. I mean, we're not all buying new cars or anything, we're buying stuff for the cemetery for equipment. We're in a year that's got a lot of precipitation, we're getting a lot of damage.
I think some things can't wait.
I agree.
Discussion wise,
I
Larry,
think you should just go ahead and
Yep.
Josh?
because I know we discussed it, and I don't remember exactly when.
Well, I think your time could be spent better somewhere else instead of repairing things that wouldn't be there. So I think it would be beneficial.
Cost effective if we want.
Have at it, Eric.
All right, any other questions?
Okay.
Yes?
Did the parking lot over at the Lions Club ever get striped?
So we're hopefully meeting next week, Monday, with a gentleman to strike everything.
Same
Yeah.
price?
It's parking lot maintenance are the only ones that have shown up. I had another meeting with a guy this week, actually today. Never showed up.
Okay. Didn't you have an estimate last year?
Well, I got one for this year. It just came down, I think I sent that over, it was $600 for certain parts of it, but I wanna do everything here.
Is the Lions Club contributing?
I think it's not free,
That's what I want to hear.
not free.
Okay,
I
thank
think we
you.
discussed that, you did it in Public Works and we did it in Public Safety. Eric came to one of our last meetings.
Okay.
The problem right now is,
Just waiting.
as
They're
every
raining.
place else,
Takes forever.
it's rained, puts everybody behind.
Uh,
This job on 164 South going to Dune Road was supposed to start on the first week in July. Okay, I don't see anything happening yet. Everybody's behind. Everybody's behind. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Eric. Report from professional services.
I think I'm the only one here. With the president's resignation, I think that triggers a couple of things. I mean, number one is the meeting. I think per the code, the group should select someone to chair this meeting. Tracy's been kind enough to sort of run the ship, but I think there should be some consensus and a vote, or at least a consensus as to who's to run this meeting. And then we have the bigger question of appointing a successor. And you have and then again, as I recall from the code that's done by this group, it's not on the agenda for tonight. And it would be improper to take it up tonight, but I think that would be carried over as an agenda item for a future meeting, and up to you to determine whether you would have a special meeting in the meantime, or carry it over to your next meeting. So I think the first thing would be just to straighten the record out. Is there a consensus as to, I think there is, as to who's gonna run the meeting? I mean, everybody in favor, Tracy does it?
I believe Tracy. Sure.
Okay,
If
so I
you
see-
Larry, you want to go?
I don't know, that's fine.
Keep fine.
Okay.
Keep fine.
So, okay, then we take care of that part, and then the next thing is, how do you want to, or I guess more when, do you want to select a replacement, acting president, board chairman?
special meeting for that, correct?
You don't have to have a special meeting.
Because it's not on the
It
agenda.
depends on the line of businesses that require some attention. The next meeting would not be until August. Like, a regular meeting. This is the one. So if you want to get it done soon, schedule a special meeting.
I think that's another thing that should be done sooner than later.
Probably right. So if you could agree maybe now is the time for a special meeting, maybe the only topic on the agenda, or you could take up other things if there's something that comes up, but if you could identify a time for that, do it, and you can then select that person who would actually fill that term, their position for the rest of the term. I don't honestly recall when Jeff's term would have ended.
Was it April?
Next April.
April, okay. So that'll be the election will be in April. And the person, temporary person appointed would, or temporary appointment would end at that time also.
24 hours notice would have to be given so the public can be here, correct? As a special meeting.
Oh, well, the special meeting would contain the same, those requirements as the open meeting, which is the 24 hours in advance, so. It has to be under more numbers.
Do you have a calendar of what's going on around here for the next week or two?
Up on the wall.
It's up on the wall.
We
Well,
get it.
next Thursday.
Next week.
Is that enough time?
Pardon?
We don't have to see it.
I don't know.
The phone's on hold.
Well, if that's the fourth. Fireworks are Wednesday, so you don't want to set it that.
All right.
So when you do the trustee seat, then one of the trustees are there.
Well, good question. The board will be appointing a replacement trustee also for the term, remaining term, of whoever assumed the position of president.
You know, somebody that we just agree on, or an appoint then?
Well, I'm just saying
It's
yes.
an elected
I
position.
think there should be, I mean, people might be interested in it. It would be nice for the public to be aware of it with some time to express their interest if they indeed want to be candidates for it. You might have some people in mind personally, but I think that opportunity should be extended to the public to give, to let others know about their willingness to serve in that position. And then it could be, you know, since these are large elections and not by districts, you could do that the same night. And then get their full group back together.
Is that the same with the president then too? Or does that have to be a trustee that moves up to that position?
No, a trustee has to assume the position of president.
Okay.
Oh, the populace, residents of the village are candidates for that empty trustee seat.
Okay.
Do you guys want to look at like the week of the 8th, July?
Friday would not be a good idea. With rubble.
Oh, that's right.
There is, on Wednesday, there's a book club, 6 to 8 o'clock at night.
How about Thursday?
We've got Rumble, right?
Yeah.
So do we go to,
Well, what about Thursday?
when does Rumble start? I'm sorry.
Friday.
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 The 11th is open.
But it would be a
That's
quick.
Friday.
It would be a quick meeting if we're just discussing who's gonna be the successor.
And so people are quick meeting, so I still don't think it's the longest.
No, it's
Just heads up, you don't know who's going to have interest in it and how factions are going to fall into place. I agree with you, Joel, it should be starting.
Shoot for the 11th? Does that work for you?
Greg, Josh,
Yeah.
What time, you guys? Sooner, later?
6, 7,
I would say 6 or 7 would probably work best for me.
Earlier the better.
6, you guys?
6.
I can do any time after 5, so.
Okay. July
Sign
11th.
it up.
And is that both the successor to Jeff and then the successor to the trustee that takes Jeff's
Yes.
place?
Yes, if you send it over, so we can take a second look at it, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm just thinking out loud, guys. So if we get this out, how do you announce, do we still have 24-hour, right? You have to notify people, but what if others want to step forward? They just have to.
Then I would
I
try to
think we need more
get it
time.
typed up as
Sooner.
soon as possible to get it posted so they have time. I know that's a lot because of what's going on, but
Yeah,
It could potentially, give a notice to local papers too, the Chronicle paper, I think it is, and the Waukesha Freeman. They probably would put something about it, about the replacement, positions, and invite the public to participate.
yeah, okay.
So what time we're looking at? On the
6
left?
o'clock.
6 o'clock on the 11th?
what, Brian, 6 okay for you?
Sure.
6 o'clock on the 11th?
Beautiful.
Consideration approval of minutes.
Make a motion to dispense with reading.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under public comments too, on the second page, under where it states someone then stated, it should be Anna Rank, is that someone? It's the third paragraph from the bottom.
Anna,
Anna, Rank, A-N-N-A. Under 8, old business, under C. After he stated he advises to decline the position beyond finance, I had stated that president is usually on finance, not just on the committees. That's why because we're discussing finance at the time, so we just need to say on the finance committee and not on the committees. And then, near the end, where it says that I stated that she was not agreeing with either Goodman or Long being on, it was not being on, because the original one that he gave us didn't have them on any committees or commissions besides the village board. So it would say Long not being on.
Sorry, Tracy, can you,
So, from where the highlight, or the underlined motions are, fourth line up,
yeah. No.
it should say Long not being on. And then under public safety on the following page, it should say Goodman asked if Clerk Laura had anything to say.
Oh, second line.
Second line under public safety on the next page, as well as Cindy is spelled with a Y, not I, at the end of that sentence. being on public safety, because we were short another resident that whole entire first year when Mike was in charge of the chairperson of public safety. And that's what I implied, that if we had one short, it didn't make or break us at that point.
Is that quote, Stacy? We've gone a year?
Yeah, I said that we had already gone with a fifth for a year, and Mike had run it. That's when, Andrea joined the following year for us, so we could have a full committee. And Cindy did. Other than that, the only thing missing was that under 11 new business A, they had the yeas and the nays, but the fact that Goodman abstained wasn't attached to it either because I don't know why they didn't include it, but he did abstain from the role.
Should the 13 come off there since we didn't do public comments at the end? And we haven't at the beginning?
It was still part of the agenda, but even though nobody spoke, we just put it on.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented with Tracy's corrections.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Number 5, approval of bills. A, discussion, consideration, and approval of bills in the amount of $9,057.61.
That's the lowest ever.
Yes.
Who did you get paid?
It was a payroll this one. I'll make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $9,057.61.
I'll second it. No. Either one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 6, closed session. Go into closed session as per Wisconsin Stats 19.851BE, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction, or exercising responsibility in negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or the conducting other specified public businesses, whether competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Specifically, the police chief's working agreement and the public works superintendent working agreement. Then make a motion to go into closed session. All those in favor? Aye.
That should be a roll call.
Oh, sorry, roll call vote. Greg?
Aye.
Josh? Larry?
Aye.
Ellen?
Aye.
Brian? Tracy? Aye. No opposed? We are in closed session.
Are we still discussing Richard's?
I like copies of all this.
Or he dumped it there, but did they get lost? Is that what still happens? Cause I don't even see it on here on my
Thank you.
part.
When will that be, Jamie?
That was
Wasn't
under,
the only place
It really wasn't on the agenda. but-
Yeah, I don't see it in these,
Yeah, the only place it wasn't on there.
Perfect, that's good.
I'll try it.
and it kind of just
Mouse right is that.
bypass it there and,
Can she just slide them in the machine now or not?
I don't know if it's, you should sit around, you know, we're not gonna do nothing about it or talk about it.
I'm sorry, what?
Richie's tree, are we gonna talk about that?
He had his piece, I don't want to see my piece.
Yeah, we should.
That's the one at Jackson Park that Eric talked
I
about.
didn't look at it, I didn't look at it, I wanted to.
I just wanted to make sure that we're still gonna do that, so he doesn't sit around for nothing.
How did she?
Yeah, but I don't want it trimmed, I want it down, it's a bad tree.
I have pictures.
She has pictures of this tree,
I'm sorry.
the tree limbs are this big
Huh,
around,
Brian?
I said that they.
healthy leaves on it, this long, that, they're long and dropping.
I pick up branches almost daily in the road, because I know people, you know, constantly walk on Jackson all the time.
And the kids can't even play out in the yard. She wouldn't let the daughter sleep in her bedroom because the wind's gonna fall down and hit the house in her bedroom. But back in the day, though, my thing is, so that tree was just big around. Now it grew and went on my property. Why is it my fault?
It's a pea tree.
There's a picture of the tree almost went through my window.
Is this in snow?
That was when we had that blizzard,
You broke her.
January.
They looked
We
him
had a
off.
lot of stuff go down in that heavy snow.
and it fell on top of my car and almost went through my living room window.
They broke her glass table, everything. I mean, just a while back, a month ago. Healthy tree limb fell over,
Does it show?
leaves on it and everything, and that's a healthy tree. Then if you look at the pictures there, you can actually see the trunk where there's cracks in this tree. Nothing here.
I think that the estimate may be a little bit high, too, I think that can be done way
Where's
cheaper
the
than
village's
that.
property, where's your property, is there any?
Seems really a lot.
He's saying that from the Centus Road to here.
easement that is the village?
The village, he told me, he told me a while back, it's on village property. Now he's saying half of it's on mine. So if a tree limb falls down or somebody, who's gonna get blamed for this? My half, your half. And these kids play out there. And you can stop and look at it, and I'm telling you, these things are cracks in the street, it's old as the hills.
This is the neighbors right here, and it's hanging way over her
It's
property.
hanging, yeah, it's hanging over the road. This is,
So one hanging over the road is one Eric was talking about.
And then this is going across the street from her house,
Correct.
and you have the neighbor across the street. It's hanging well over her
we
property.
should pass these around so you know. I'm sorry.
You guys cut it down and plant 2 trees.
Did you need to see them?
What was it, one of the estimates was 11,000, yeah.
But I thought he's a certified arborist, so that's why I didn't understand why we would have to pay some else.
Rent a bucket truck at Home Depot. I know
I
somebody.
mean, yeah, that seems super high for that tree to tear it all down.
Can we circle back to this right after closed session? Because we've already done the cemetery update, so we can make it an amendment to change it over to
Can you read the pictures? You take care of them and come back.
That's fine.
You what?
He wants to keep the picture.
Should I send these
Yeah.
pictures here? So, can we just get back to you, or you wanna wait? I don't know what the decision is.
I mean, is there gonna be a discussion on this, or? Or
Well, it
you
was
wanna
just-
look into it more, or something?
Because this is the first I'm hearing about it, so, besides what Eric was saying, so it is nice to have another point of view of what it is.
That's fine.
'Cause I think they briefly touched on it.
Because we could add it to the agenda on the 11th too, of July, if that's okay, since we're circling back and having another meeting, is that okay with you? I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, thank you
You
guys.
want to send them?
We'll hang on to them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, dear. I'll get them back to you.
Okay.
Thanks, have a good night.
You too, sir, thank you.
Thanks for coming, you guys. Are you jumping up there?
Yeah.
Okay.